Welcome to the SHADE program. We hope you find it useful and relevant in encouraging you to think about your current situation, including any things you'd like to change. You may be feeling a little unsure about how a computer program may be able to help you with your current situation. That's a very natural thing to feel, particularly if you've not had much experience using computers or the internet before today. However, we've tried to make this program as easy to use as possible. Please remember, there's nothing you can do that can break the program, and you can't mess it up. So if you stick with it and follow these simple instructions, you'll be able to make use of all that the SHADE program has to offer. You're able to go through the program one session at a time. You'll learn new skills, and then the exercises will be available to you at any time afterwards when you visit the resource room. The SHADE resource room allows you to pick and choose which particular activities or life situations you'd like to focus on, without the need for you to go back and complete previous sessions or activities contained in the SHADE program. The SHADE program is made up of 10 independent sessions that have been integrated into a week-by-week package based on what's been proven to work and in the order that works best. You don't have to choose which skills you cover during your session. It's all pre-programmed, ready for you to work through over a 10-week period. You need to have completed the previous week's session before you can go on to the next session. Each session in the 10-week SHADE program is set up in the same way. First, the introduction, then review the previous week, then review homework activities, then build on homework activities and learn new skills, and finally a summary and conclusions and goals for the coming week. You can move through each of these sections as quickly or as slowly as you like. It's all up to you. In particular, CBT encourages a person to look at the many different situations they're involved in every day and examine how their reactions to those situations, their thoughts, assumptions, worries, etc., may be affecting how they feel about that situation and how they behave in that situation. Then, through a combination of trying out different techniques, activities, and strategies, CBT aims to help a person think, feel, and behave differently in those situations, so that things can work out differently and hopefully better for that person. We may not always realize it, but the things we do or choose not to do can influence how we feel. For instance, if we're using drugs or drinking, we can think it may help us feel better that day, but in fact it can have the opposite effect. If we're feeling depressed, we may decide not to do something that in fact would have made us feel better because we don't have the energy or are concerned that we won't have a good time. Depression can come with different feelings and concerns. Some may be reflected in the list below. Please check any that you have. Computer-based SHADE therapy has been used in several research studies and has been shown to help people better manage symptoms of depression, reduce alcohol and other drug use, and to improve their current life situation. We hope that by working through the SHADE sessions, you'll also be able to see some of these benefits for yourself. Let's talk for a moment about homework. An important part of helping the SHADE program to work is to take the things that you learn about during the module and try them out in the real world. Really try hard to do these homework activities, because if you do, we're sure you'll find it easier to make the changes in your life that you're hoping to make. We realize that it can be hard to make time for things like homework and other activities, and that other things already happening in your life can make it even harder to make these activities a priority. Here are some tips about how you may be able to get around some of these difficulties.
I've never felt worse than when I was feeling depressed. I mean, sometimes I felt so bad I just didn't want to go on. I really don't think there are any words in the English language that can describe what it's actually like when you're feeling that low. You know, we just don't have the words. They haven't been invented. I didn't know what to do. You know, I didn't have anyone I could talk to. I mean, not my friends anyway. I mean, how would they understand? I first started feeling depressed after my wife left me. I mean, looking back, I think, that's where it started. I didn't belong, She got the kids, and we had the same friends. I didn't have anything for myself anymore, and it made me really uncomfortable. But that's where the pot would help me through, just make all those thoughts go away. And it was good at first because my friends would stop by for a smoke. I was still part of the group. That's when I started drinking heavily, too. It was good at first because it just kind of helped numb everything out. So did the pot. But after a while, I started needing it, just to feel comfortable. When I would go out with what friends I had, I would wind up unable to stand on my own or stoned out of my mind by the end of the night. I mean, I thought I was good company, but when my friends stopped calling me to hang out, I got the message. And I never set out to get that drunk or far gone, it just kind of happened. And then the next day I would feel so guilty and useless and just out of control. I was all alone. I'd seen my mom go through a depression when I was younger, and I promised myself that I would never be like that. But here I was, showing the same signs that I had seen. I was just like her, and I really hated myself for it. After a while, what friends I had left stopped calling or coming around altogether. I mean, I wasn't even worth talking to, I was a real miserable lump, and that just left me more alone. I mean, there were days where I couldn't even get out of bed. Just the thought of it was too much for me. I should have gone to the doctor then.
Next, have a look at all the things you've put down on your problem brainstorming form. Are some things there more important to you or causing you more concern than others? If so, mark these particular problems so that they stand out on the page. In thinking about the problems and concerns that you've listed on this page, is it possible that some of them are linked together? Are there some problems on your list that make other problems or concerns worse? For example, do any of the financial problems you've listed make family problems worse? Are there some problems that trigger other problems? For example, do any stresses with your home life trigger drinking? Do any health problems trigger pot use? Do any social situations trigger speed use, alcohol use, or pot use? And do any of these problems affect your mood, or possibly trigger feelings of depression? If so, draw arrows between those problems that you think are linked. It's also possible that the arrow goes both ways. Do feelings of depression make you feel more likely to drink or use other drugs? Does drinking also then cause problems at home or with finances? If so, draw this on your form as well. These events can be positive ones, such as a marriage or a reconciliation of a relationship, a pregnancy, gaining a new family member, or having a son or daughter leave home, starting a new job, your partner starting work, changing to a different type of work, increased responsibility at work, retirement, or beginning or ceasing formal schooling. These events also can be negative. Health problems of yourself or your partner, in-law troubles, troubles with the boss at work, or being fired from work. Or, these events can be both positive and negative, depending on the situation. Divorce, separation, moving house, change in amount of spare time you have, changing to a new school, change in number of social activities, change in sleeping habits, holidays or Christmas times, change in eating habits. In any case, we can learn a lot about our current situation by thinking about the different things that have happened to us in our lives, both major events and other life experiences, and how we may have overcome or gotten through some of these hard times to survive to today. As we've already discussed, people will experience a range of hurdles in their lives that present them with a number of personal challenges. You may have already started to think about the hurdles you've experienced in your own life. Think about 2 hurdles that you've encountered in your own life and enter them in the space provided. As with all of our exercises, you can print them and they'll be available to you at any time in your resource room. The resource room is like your library, which you'll come back to and continue to work on and improve. Please print out the Hurdles and Ladders worksheet now. To help people move forward and survive, they use ladders made of personal skills, social supports, and other strengths. Although it may be hard for you to acknowledge, you have several of your own ladders that you've used to try to deal with the hurdles in your own life. These may be good social skills, like the ability to work with others, a sense of humor, a good job, a good support network, etc. Recall the ladders that have helped you to get on top of the hurdles you've listed on the form in front of you, and enter these down on the rungs of each ladder.